Hey guys, what is up? Tominator here. In this video I wanted to talk about Dexter Jackson, specifically about his left arm, which is looking suspiciously smooth now. And I know that Louis Marco just put out a video on this very topic, so you may be tempted to just think that I'm copying him or ripping him off. Rest assured that's not the case. So here's the deal, guys. I mean, we both cover the same contests. We're looking at the same material, so it's only natural that sometimes we're going to have the same observations, so that's all that's going on here. I was going to make a video on this anyway, and hell, I said as much, I made this same comment in my review video where I did an in-depth breakdown of this top three. But in case you missed that or you're not interested, I'm just going to go over this weird phenomenon here again in a little more detail this time and explain to you, or try to explain to you what's going on, because I'm still guessing too. I'm not entirely certain myself. And it's not to throw any dirt on Dexter's name because he is a legend, so I'm not saying this out of disrespect or to troll on him or anything like that, guys. So don't be so sensitive about shit. But what I am going to say here is not politically correct because I don't think this is a training injury at all. I really don't. I think what's going on here is a sight injection gone wrong. I think Dexter's messing around with Synthol or some sort of compound like that in order to artificially enhance his lagging left arm, because it's no secret anymore that Dexter's left arm is just not up to par with his right. I think it's become common knowledge after the Arnold Classic in Ohio 2 weeks ago that this is the case, and I've noticed it for years myself, that in poses such as this in the front double bicep, even in the back double bicep, the left arm is significantly smaller, and it throws off his symmetry big time. And I think, maybe Dexter finally heard those criticisms and he was trying to compensate, so he was, injecting some oil or something like that in there to boost these lagging muscles here in the left side. And he kind of overdid it. But, I mean, he certainly got back some size, because now the left arm looks about the same size as the right. But what's just so weird about it is there's no definition, there's no separation here between the bi and the tri, man. There's nothing. It's just so smooth. So there's definitely something fishy going on there. And here's an actual bicep tear. For those of you who are wondering, this is Dorian Yates in 1995, about a year after he tore his left bicep. And there's just a huge gap now between his bicep and his forearm, so it's very noticeable. He's got like half a bicep left here on this side. And not that his right bicep is anything amazing, but it's definitely noticeable, the asymmetry here. There's definitely some sort of trauma has happened here, and it's just clear as day. You can't deny it. Whereas in Dexter's case, I mean, the muscle bellies still look intact. His bicep head looks the same length. It doesn't look shortened like Dorian's. Same with the tricep. It looks the same compared to the right one. All that's off is that you don't see that definition. You don't see a vein here like you do in the right. That same kind of hard, grainy texture isn't present here. So I think that's why site injection is more likely than a training injury. This to me looks more reminiscent of what happened with Jay Cutler in 2011. At the Mr. Olympia that year, he came out with a bruised and discolored left bicep. And of course, the official story was that he had a training injury. And I think that's a load of malarkey. I think that's just nothing but a kind of BS PR excuse, because as far as these guys are concerned, no one's going to admit that these guys are injecting themselves, The official story, as far as everybody's concerned, is that these guys are natural, right? I mean, it's just all the fancy supplements and the rigorous dieting and training protocols that develop Olympia-level physiques like this, right? That's the official story, what they would have you believe, and I call BS. So even by the time the finals rolled around the very next evening, you can see that it's barely noticeable anymore, and his bicep's not shortened whatsoever, and it wasn't after this either, so it still looks perfectly intact. So maybe it is the case that you can tear or injure an arm to the extent that it bruises and swells, but the muscle itself remains intact. I don't know, guys. Let me know in the comments below if you do, because I'm admittedly not an expert when it comes to training injuries, and certainly not when it comes to site injection, but I'm just giving you my best guesses at this point. And if you think that Dexter is, too classy, too much of a legend to ever mess with something like Synthol, you better think again, because here he is in 1999, clearly abusing the shit. I mean, look at his calves. Have you ever seen Dexter's calves look this big before? Not only big, but I mean, look how lumpy they look too. The shape is weird. And that's just a clear case of Synthol abuse. I mean, it's not that surprising because these guys were all messing around with this stuff back in the day. 1999 was an especially bad year for that. You had guys like Milos and Flex Wheeler and I think Nasser Al Somebody. They were all fucking with Synthol, and it really kind of marred their physiques. I mean, just look at the lack of definition here in his calves compared to his upper legs and the rest of his body. So to me, it's really obvious. And here he is in 2008 for comparison. So this is almost 10 years ago when he won the Mr. Olympia. And his calves have downsized significantly from 1999. Yet they're definitely more defined. You can see some vascularity going on. So how would you explain that? That the rest of his body continued to grow and improve, but his calves, shrunk. That just doesn't make any logical sense, guys. So clearly he was enhancing in 99. So if he did it once, way back when, why not again? And hell, man, I watched a video where, according to Dave Palumbo, 70 to 80% of these top pros are using Synthol or in one form or another because he sells the shit on his site and they buy it from him, or so he says. So, some guys just are clearly abusing it more than others. Some guys can use it in such a way that you don't even notice it. But in this case, with Dexter Jackson at the 2018 Arnold Classic in Australia, it seemed very noticeable to me. It's just so smooth. So I think that that's honestly what's going on, guys. I don't think it's a training injury. I don't think it's a bicep tear or tricep tear or anything like that. That just doesn't seem likely. Again, I'm no expert on it, so maybe you guys in the comments section can kind of elucidate and give your own opinions on what's going on here. I'm just trying to keep it real with you. I'm trying not to sugarcoat things or dance around with some politically correct BS-y excuses. Again, it's not to throw dirt on Dexter's name because he is a legend. He's one of my favorite bodybuilders of all time, and objectively speaking, I have him easily in the top 10, closer to the top 5, I think anybody would. So it's not to be disrespectful, it's just to be honest, okay? So I could be wrong, but let me know in the comments what you guys think. So until next time, thank you for watching. I'm the Tominator signing off, and I'll be back.